Hi, welcome to my channel again. This is Dr. Uchenna. In this video, I want to talk about fears and how I dance with my fears, how I've learned to manage my fears and to overcome it. Yeah. So how do I start? I'll read a poem that I wrote on Facebook some time ago, and yeah, this is how it goes. Now, the battle against the enemy within is a spiritual dance with our shadows. To conquer your fear is not a violent approach, but a gentle integration of all aspects of yourself. The weapons of war include surrender, acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, patience, and courage. Hold hands with your fears and anxieties, and together you can dance to the songs of love that emanate from your soul. Let fear show you the next important task you have to do. Let fear lead you to the people you need to apologize to. Let fear open the doors to your self imprisonment and direct you to your greatness. Our demons are forces of nature and they're here to stay. Learn to befriend them and use them as fuel to reach your goals. Life is playing a love song and we came here to dance. Open your heart and go out and play. Yeah, so that was a poem that came from my soul earlier, some years ago, I think, and I reposted it again on Facebook today. So it forms the core of my teaching for today, which is how to dance with our fears. So I started it out, by explaining, by comparing it, to a battle. Um, but it's a different kind of battle now. It's not a vicious battle. It's not it's not your conventional battle where you're trying to kill the enemy or where you're trying to subdue the enemy. No, this is a love. It's a love affair basically. It's a spiritual battle, a spiritual dance. So that's what the battle is now. It's battling how to accommodate, how to forgive, how to empathize, how to accept. Yeah, so that is the battle I'm talking about here. It's a subtle kind of war. So it's a spiritual dance, with the shadows of ourselves, the shadow side. Remember I always talk about duality. So there's the shadow that we hide, and there's the image that we project. The one that we try to hide, is like the lust, the fears, the anxieties, the self doubts, the jealousy, the envy, the anger. These are the parts of us that we're not really proud of, and we don't want to project it out to the world, and which is okay. Um, you don't have to project them, but you can use them because they form half of who we are. So for every side that you have, for all the kindness you have, there's some wickedness inside. For everything we have, the opposite is always there. But what we express is who we are. Is similar. It's analogous to how genes are expressed. For those of you that are tall, there's a short side. For those that are dark, there's the other side of it that's not being expressed. So if you read about gene expression, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you read about the alleles and which genes become dominant and which ones are recessive, you understand the two sides that I'm trying to explain here. So to conquer our fears has nothing to do with fighting it or using yeah, there's some technology that we can use, but we don't have to suppress it. We don't have to do it by force. No, there's a gentler way that we can use it by integrating it into who we are and by accepting it for what it is, and then by converting it through that dance. Because when you hold your fears very close to you, and you dance with them, that's all They just want to be felt. They want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged. So these are the weapons, the way you can endear your anxieties and your fear to you is by acceptance, is by surrender, is by compassion, is by forgiveness, patience, all those virtues. Um, so we need to allow our fears, to show us the next thing we need to do. And he's always knocking on our doors. He's always trying to tell us something that we need to do. He's always trying to direct us to where we need to go to. But we keep resisting. Don't resist. Go with the flow. Fear is part of the flow. It's part of everything that we are experiencing. It's part of that big ocean, um, that we are a drop inside. So there's everything there, and it's flowing in its magnificence and its beauty. So yeah, allow fear to open. Allow fear to lead you to where you want to go to, but don't let it, like, it can direct you there, but that is its job. It gives you the direction. Then you bring courage. Courage goes and opens the door. Courage goes inside. Courage goes first. Courage is what you're going to use to express who you are. So the courage comes from that vulnerability. So allow your vulnerabilities to build inside of you and to develop courage for you, because courage comes from vulnerability. Your willingness to be vulnerable, that's where your courage will come from. That's where your truth resides. I'm speaking to spiritual healers. I'm not speaking to everybody. So if you're not, on the pathway I'm talking about, then these principles might not be for you. So truth comes from that place of vulnerability. Your true healing words, the authentic words that you need, they will come from your shame. They will come from your biggest shame, the biggest disgrace, the thing that makes you, shudder, the things you've done in the past, that you're not proud of. Yeah, that's where your strength lies. Your strength is in your weakness. All this, the shadow and the ideal aspect of who we are, they are intertwined. You cannot have one without the other. And the thing that's delaying progress is that we're not acknowledging the shadow side. The shadow is meant to help us, push us forward, to move us forward. That's what has been moving me forward, and that's what I've been using. So those shadows are here to stay. I call them demons in a way, even though they are not really. They can be demons in our lives if we don't treat them how they're meant to be treated. If we do not appreciate them for who they are, then they will bite you. So they're there to stay. They're not going anywhere. They've always been with you. They are part of the universal consciousness. They are part of our consciousness. They are part of who we are. Anger, rage, they are there. They are inside. It just takes some triggers to bring them out. So we need to really integrate these into ourselves. So my last sentence, okay, the third to last sentence was, learn to befriend them and use them as fuel to reach your goals. And life is actually playing a love song for us. Every second that takes away, every breath that we take, there's a song. The beats, we can hear the beats of the music in our hearts, our heartbeats, our pulse, all the activities, all the biochemical activities that are happening within us. It's a music, it's an orchestra. If you take time, to study what happens inside a single cell, then you will understand the kind of orchestra that's being performed inside your body without your knowledge. So it's a pure dance. So just open up yourself and go out into the field of life to play. There's an open field where that has been created for you. Go out there, express yourself, jump, dance, touch the ground, somersault, do whatever you want to do. We are here for you, and let the world hear your music. Thank you, and stay blessed.